Good morning. So it's Ocrevus infusion day. I've just woken up. So I'm gonna get up, have a shower, pack a bag, and have some breakfast before I set off. So there we go. So I'm just having some breakfast, just having some cereal, and I make like a green juice that has lots of ginger and protein in it, and like apple and pear, apple juice and kiwi and celery, so it's like a big healthy juice to kickstart my day. They always ask if you've eaten enough when you go for your Ocrevus treatment, because your blood pressure can fluctuate. Mine gets really, really low, so I'm just making sure I've got a really super healthy start. And then they also gave me a call to say that that they don't have a kitchen at the moment, so I'm just put some soup on to boil and then I'll put it in a flask. I made that the other day, so that's going to be really yummy. So I'm all ready to go. I've got a bag packed and it's a really long day. I'll be there from about 8:30 until probably about 7 o'clock in the evening. So I've got to keep myself really amused. I've got a notebook for doing a little bit of journaling or writing. I've got a book to read. I've got a Sudoku book. I've got a little snack. I've got slipper socks, because you've got to be super comfy. Obviously I've got a mask at the moment. It's really important, face mask. I've got a snack. I've got my lunch. I've got my iPad. A couple of movies on there downloaded. And then this is all my kind of important stuff, like a charger, my anti-bac, earphones. So yeah, time to get going. So here I am, I'm in the car, I'm on the way. With public transport and COVID at the moment, I just feel safer going in the car. You might hear Google Maps, I might shout over on the way, because I get really anxious when I go for my treatments. I think it's post-traumatic stress disorder from being diagnosed and spending lots of time in hospital. And also it's just a really stressful time. A lot of the time I try and live my life as full as I can, and then you go into hospital for a whole day and get an infusion. It's not great. But I'll just say a little bit about why I chose to go on Ocrevus. So basically, because I'm young, I was 23 when I was diagnosed, and then I was 23 when I was diagnosed with Bellow's concentric sclerosis, and then 24 when I was re-diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS. So it was quite an aggressive first relapse. So obviously MS fluctuates a lot, but they thought, let's get her on as an aggressive a treatment as possible, as young as possible, and if we do that, then hopefully it will slow things down a lot. So I was given the choice between two treatments. One was a tablet and one was Ocrevus. So I used the MS Trust MS Decisions tool, and I had a look, and the doctor, the consultant and the nurse had basically said, choose whatever suits your lifestyle. So they didn't give me a choice of the whole range of MS treatments, but they gave me a choice of two which they thought would be really suitable for me, and then told me to choose which one I thought would be best. So I chose Ocrevus because I'm 25, I've got quite an active life. I don't want to be remembering to take a tablet every morning, and I don't want long-term symptoms. I just want, one day, and then on the day it's not great. I get really bad headaches. Again, I get PTSD, I get really bad anxiety, puts a lot of strain on my body. I get metal taste in my mouth, get really low blood pressure, and then for a couple of days after I'm absolutely exhausted, but it's quite contained. Whereas I worry about getting symptoms every day from medication essentially. The other pro is that it actually gives me a day off. I know that sounds really ridiculous, but how often do you actually give yourself permission to sit for hours and hours and hours and just watch loads of films and read a book? You got to find your silver lining somewhere, I think. So that's definitely one that I've found. Obviously I'm really anxious about going to hospital. I'm at higher risk of being unable to fight COVID because I'm on Ocrevus, as it's an immunosuppressant. And obviously hospitals will probably be full of COVID, as is everywhere else.
Onto East Road.
But to be quite honest, when you have MS, it's the lesser of two evils.
For 3/4 mile.
I'm risking getting COVID to get this treatment, and I'm happy about it. I'm nervous, but I'm happy about it. I think that's a lot of the struggle that people with MS and people on, you know, chemo and lots of other conditions have at the minute. You know, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So just got to make sure I'm as healthy as possible and making sure I get a lot of sleep and eating really well, and got my auntie back, and I just need to be as sensible as I can. So I'm just in the hospital now, just heading up to my ward. I've just grabbed coffee and something to eat. Also, I've got my mask on. It's really deadly quiet in here. Normally it's so busy, but not today. On the plus side, I got parked really quickly, so that's always good. See you soon.
Any particular arm?
So just currently waiting for the doctor to give us their approval to get our Ocrevus treatment started. There's a couple of other people also getting theirs today. You come in and you get a urine test, and mine's come back. I've got a little bit of infection somewhere, so they're just waiting to see if the doctor is okay. I might just have a little bug or something like that, so I'm not too worried. I think it'll start soon. But yeah, I got here at 8:30. It's now 10 to 10, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting started. And they've given us blood pressure, measured blood pressure and everything, so yeah, let's see how it goes.
How many infusions have you had?
2 so
Two.
far.
2 half?
Yes,
So this is
my
your
first.
full dose. Full,
Uh,
or you had the full dose?
no, I've not had a full dose.
Oh,
Now I'm just setting up to get the infusion into my arm, but I won't show you this bit because it'll be kind of gross. Okay, so we've had the go ahead for the treatment, so I'm really excited to get it done. I've got cannula in my arm now, so basically it's just going to be hours of Ocrevus being dripped into my bloodstream. Essentially they're going to hook it up to the cannula in my arm. Looks worse than it is, feels totally fine. It hurts a little bit when they're putting it in, just like a blood test or whatever, but yeah, so they're going to come, they're going to give me some paracetamol, some antihistamine, just to ensure that if I do have an allergic reaction to medication, I'll already be pre-medicated. And then they're going to hook up Ocrevus to the cannula, and then I just get to sit back and relax. So I'm really pleased that it's going ahead, and yeah, keep you updated. Okay, so that's the infusion started. That's the drugs there, and it just drips down through this tube all the way into my arm, and it's a little bit cold actually. I can feel it, but just really happy that I'm getting the treatment that I need, and that I managed to go through okay. So they've just come in and changed to a different drug there. Apparently the one before was steroids for 30 minutes. That's to reduce the risk of infusion, allergic reaction to infusion, so skin rashes or anything. Experiencing a little bit of anxiety actually just now. it tends to happen. Just it's not a great setting, is it, in hospital, but I'm trying to stay calm. So yeah, this is Ocrevus that's now been added. So it's beginning. It's 11:15, so it's taken a wee while for the Ocrevus to actually get going, but I'm now going to keep watching Frozen. They've just come in, they're currently taking kind of observations of blood pressure and heart rate and stuff every 15 minutes. Like I thought my blood pressure's gone down, so they're just going to keep an eye on me. But snuggling up, watching Frozen, gonna have some snacks in a minute. So yeah. So here goes one of the trickier parts of the day. So for me to go to the toilet, I have to unplug this little guy and then take this whole little machine with me. So me and my buddy just gonna go pee. So I'm still in the same spot as you found me last time. MS nurse has just come in. Normally your MS nurse will come and check on you while you're having your infusion, usually only once. Just see how you're doing, show a friendly face. She has come in to say that I have been prescribed some antibiotics actually this time, from what they saw on my urine sample. So they think it might be a urinary tract infection, which is a really common symptom for people with MS. She's not sure yet, but if they've put me on steroids for the Ocrevus, apparently that makes a UTI worse, so I have to go on some antibiotics. And then I'm going to check in with my results on my online patient portal and just phone my GP to make sure I'm on the right antibiotics. So there's quite a lot of responsibility for your own medication, healthcare and things like that. It's always good to write things down after a nurse has come. That's something that I find really helpful. Just write down some notes and put little reminders on your phone or something, because she's already said that if we don't hear back about the urine test, then I have to contact them in a week, so I'll probably forget that, to be honest. Also some changes to booking our Ocrevus appointments. So she said that before, the minute you'd had one, they'll book another one for 6 months later, but they can't do that at the moment because of COVID. We're on a waiting list, so that just goes to show you the impact that COVID's had on treatment for MS patients. I mean, for me, this treatment is staving off disability for months and months and months. I'm going to be healthier for so much longer because of it, so it's slightly worrying that we're having to go on a waiting list, but I guess that's just the way it is for a lot of people at the moment with COVID-19. It is now 2 o'clock, so I've been here for a long time, but still watching Frozen. Almost done with that. So blood pressure is really low at the moment. Feeling a little bit knackered, as you can see. Big bags under my eyes. Just gonna keep an eye on it, try shut my eyes, rest for a little bit. Taking my mask off just so I can feel like I can breathe a bit better. But we'll probably put it on really soon because that's protocol in here. So yeah, not feeling great at the moment, but I'm almost done. There's not a lot of the bag left. You can see it was really full at the beginning and now it's all the liquid sucked out. But yeah, definitely not feeling great. I do know that this is one of the easier symptoms, so some people can get rashes or whatever, but the nurses are amazing. I mean, they're keeping an eye on us kind of every 15-30 minutes, and that's what they're there for. So feeling tired but feeling safe and looked after. Ocrevus is over now. So happy. There's another little bag of saline up there now, and they do that for about 50 minutes once you're done, and that flushes. I don't even know really what that means, but it's a flush. It's starting to feel a little bit more awake, probably because I know that it's coming to an end as well. It took a couple of minutes to get this set up because this wire here, this kind of white see-through one here, that goes straight into my cannula. If that gets twisted, it beeps quite a lot. So top tip, if you're getting Ocrevus, make sure that the cable isn't twisted and it can get into your arm okay. And if your machine starts beeping, normally that's what it is, you've bent your arm and it can't get into the bloodstream or whatever. It's pretty good. You also might have noticed that I was being quite quiet this whole time, speaking in a really quiet voice. When you're getting your infusion, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be put in a room with someone else. So maybe be ready, try and think of how you want to interact with that other person. The first time I ever went in for an infusion, I knew that I didn't really want to speak to anybody. So I had a few sentences ready, like, oh, I'm a bit tired, didn't really sleep well last night, I'm just going to watch a film if that's okay. Sometimes it's good to be prepared, whereas, you know, this time and the second time that I went in, I was perfectly happy to chat. So always remember that it's up to you, you have to look after yourself. So yeah, 50 minutes of this flash, and then I'll go and pick up my antibiotics, and then I'll go home and get a takeaway, treat myself and look after myself, because it's not the most thrilling of days. So now the flush is finished, yay! Cannula's been taken out, so just waiting to grab a couple of pieces of paper, a few forms, discharge paper, like that, and then off to the pharmacy. See ya.
Doors closing.
So, just finished. It feels amazing just knowing that you've done something that's gonna really help your condition, help the MS for as long as possible. Feels amazing. I'm heading to outpatient ward to get my antibiotics. This actually hasn't happened every time. This is the first time I've had to do this. It's awesome, it just shows that they're really looking out for you. Again, it's so quiet in here. I can't believe how quiet it is. Normally this hospital is absolutely packed and there's no one around. Absolutely nobody. COVID-19, everybody. But yeah, best tip for getting antibiotics is to make sure that you have money with you, because they will charge you for your prescription. So nice to get some fresh air again. Yeah, as I said, make sure you've got some money, because you will get charged for your prescriptions unless you're exempt, so double check with them. You might be, I think, if you're a full-time student or on benefits, so double check with them. Normally I think costs around £9.15 now. This is September 2020, so whenever you're watching this it might have changed. It tends to go up quite often. But yeah, just walking to outpatients now. Just getting to outpatients, and normally once you've started treatment like Ocrevus, you'll actually be a permanent outpatient and you get diagnosed with MS. So if you move, make sure to double check with the local hospital, know where your patient records are going. You're a permanent outpatient simply so that they can give you the best care as quick as possible. So that's me leaving, going back to my car. I mean, honestly, during the treatment, you feel rubbish. It's a bit boring. Some people feel fine. Some people get worse symptoms than I do. But by the end of it, you realise you've done something really good for yourself, and for your condition and for your body. And really, there's nothing to be afraid of. The nurses are amazing, the healthcare staff are amazing, and people with MS have been dealt a bad hand, there's no doubt about it. But we're so lucky we've got all these amazing treatments, and actually I'm going to go home and relax. I'll be exhausted, I'm going to be so tired for the next few days. Some people aren't, but I can go with a smile on my face knowing that I had some treatment today that's going to hopefully stave off disability for as long as I possibly can. So yeah, I'll catch you when I'm back home. So I'm now back on my way out where you saw me this morning. The only thing I can feel is that, as you can hear, I've got a bit of a tight throat. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that and make sure I phone the MS nurses. I gave it a quick mention when I came out of the appointment. It was fine. Also, just thinking about driving, going home, make sure that you kind of mention to your MS nurse or care staff that you're going to be driving yourself home. I knew I'd most likely be okay because I'd done it before, but they might recommend that someone comes to pick you up or take someone with you that can drive your car. Obviously COVID has put big restrictions, you can do hand sand, on who can come with you at the moment, so you also should double check whether or not you're allowed visitors, because I know right now you're not allowed to bring anyone with you. So yes, I will see you soon. Alright, so I am home finally. It is 5:15, so I'm back way earlier than I thought I would be. Sometimes that just happens. There's a lot of factors. So we were actually a bit delayed with the urine test. Sometimes you're delayed because the staff, there's a lot going on the ward. We were in a unit today, not a ward. I don't know if there's a difference, but there was only 4 of us in there getting treatment, whereas on a ward there can be, 30 people. So sometimes it takes longer than others. I know last time when my blood pressure was really bad, they actually slowed down the drip. So again, it took longer. Feeling really exhausted. I've asked my partner for some help this evening. That's a really good tip. Ask for support. I've said, when you come home, probably not going to be able to make dinner. I'm probably not going to be able to do, cooking, cleaning for the next couple of days. Can we, share it a bit no more than we normally do? I've also asked if he could stay in and spend some time with me. People have different responses to getting treatment for MS. I tend to get quite bad symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, depression, just because it's not a very nice situation to be in. So ask the people that you love that are around you for some support, and if you don't have anyone close to you, then do something that's going to cheer you up. Plan to spend the night in watching TV, or get your favourite takeaway or cook your favourite meal. It's good to be aware of how you respond to treatment emotionally as well as physically. So the plan for me tonight is to get a takeaway, watch a film, and then I've not made any plans for the weekend. And that's going to be how I'm going to look after myself after treatment. So I hope that's given you more of an insight into what going for an Ocrevus infusion is like. And if you have any more questions, you can always email ask@mstrust.org.uk, and a member of our amazing inquiry service will be able to answer some questions that you might have about treatment or point you in the right direction. Of course, MS nurses are also incredible at helping you with that information as well. Thanks for following on my day. Bye.